Did you know that a survey was conducted? A third of Americans are more afraid of starting a business than they are jumping out of a plane. Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Nia. Welcome back to another video. In tonight's video, something I just had on my heart while I was sitting down journaling was, or I have stopped myself from doing so many things that I truly wanted to do because of fear. Okay, I know we all can relate to this in some way. Sometimes we just get so afraid to start, or so afraid of what the worst case scenario could be, or how things could end up not working out for us, that we trick ourselves into just not doing it at all. That's what I want to talk to you guys about. How to get out of that failure mindset, or get out of the I won't be successful mindset, and actually go for everything that it is that you want for yourself in this life, especially when it comes to starting a business. I wrote some notes down on my phone, so if you guys see me looking down or something, it's because I got my notepads pulled up. I just put a couple of bullet points of things I wanted to touch on. The first tip that I have to stop operating in fear is to check your vibration, check your energy. What I mean by this is sit with yourself for a moment, notice how you're feeling, and notice the emotions that you're actually currently having. So say you're stressed out about, your kids, or say you're worried about your financial situation, or maybe you are super anxious because you have a test coming up in school or something like that. Whatever it is that you're feeling at that moment, take a second to notice those emotions. Why I'm saying check your energy and check your vibration is because there's a way for us to get back in alignment if we just center ourselves. Honestly, understand what it is that we're feeling and why we're feeling it. Something that I wrote in my journal tonight was that I need to be more aware of my emotions and how I'm feeling each and every day, which is why I am journaling, because sometimes I get caught up in one single thought and it will take over my whole vibe. It will just take me from here to here. The problem that we're having with wanting to jumpstart and start a business, or wanting to, quit our 9-to-5, or whatever it is in life that you're thinking about doing that you're afraid of, that's your brain literally trying to protect you from risk. There is a negative side to that, and then there's a positive side to it. Obviously, we have that little switch in our brains that's going to protect us from risk, because sometimes we'll do things that are irrational and we can end up in some type of pain or hurt or all type of situations. But in a situation where you're thinking about starting a business and you've generated this really good idea, you've planned out all the steps that you want to take to start a business, you've gotten where you want to get your products, how you want your packaging to look, you even thought about what you want your website to look like, but you haven't started yet. Fear, you're afraid. Why are you afraid? What is the worst possible thing that could happen? The worst possible thing that could happen is that your plan will fail, you won't make any sales. You're probably worrying about making all this inventory, and then the inventory sitting on your shelf for months. You won't know what the best possible case scenario is until you actually try. Our minds automatically go to the worst place first. That's why I'm telling you guys that you just need to check in with yourself, check in with your emotions, figure out how you're feeling, why are you feeling this way, and what is contributing to you feeling those ways. Most of the times it's going to either be outside influences, or something that you've heard or seen someone else do. That's what social media comes into play. We're constantly on social media, whether you're trying to do this or not. You just scroll. We just literally just be scrolling all day. Some of the things that you're seeing are feeding that fear inside of you, that they're feeding that I can't do this, or if I do start this, it won't look as good as when she did it, or if I try it like that, I probably won't be as successful with it, or can I also make this much money trying the same thing? You have to limit the stuff that is aiding you into fear. Cut out the social media. If you haven't practiced journaling, practice journaling. And then, I know this is said a lot, but you probably need to meditate. And actually, that's why I'm saying check your energy. I don't want to get on here and be everybody needs to just start meditating, because a lot of people don't find meditation helpful, which I don't know what y'all talking about, because it's life-changing. Check your energy, at least sit with yourself and figure out what it is that you're feeling. Check your tension in your shoulders, relax your jaw. Take a deep breath, because a lot of times we aren't even breathing properly when we're afraid or when we're in a negative mind state. Well, after you have checked in with yourself and make sure that you understand exactly why it is that you're feeling this way, you're going to be able to cut out some of the things that are contributing to you feeling that way. If you're anxious about your test that you have next week, do some studying, because that way you'll feel more prepared for the test that's coming up. So now that we've talked about why we trick ourselves into fear, how fear contributes to us being in a low vibrational state, how do you get out of that low vibrational state and raise your vibration, raise your energy, contribute to a more positive attitude towards starting a business? How can you do it? If fear is used for the right intentions and the right purposes, it actually can be a great motivator or a fuel to continue on whatever it is that you're starting yourself on. Whatever risk it is that you're about to take, use that fear to fuel your drive to continue doing it. Shut that negative thought out and tell that fear, And you literally have to like talk to your negative emotions like that. Like push them to the side, because they're going to keep on trying to force their way in, because that's just the way that we're operating as humans. If we're afraid of doing something, we will allow those thoughts to manifest as opposed to trying to shut them out. Something that I have done for myself in the past is, like, when I was afraid to spend my first large amount of money on inventory, it was about $500 or $600 the first time that I like really bulked up on inventory. I kind of told myself was, obviously, like, I'm afraid to invest in this much product at one time, because what if it doesn't go right? What if my products don't sell? Or what if I'm not able to use all this inventory that I've just purchased? Just so many different thoughts were going through my head. What did I do to actually stop myself from thinking that way was, I literally just counted down from 5. I was like, all right, I got my cart filled up. I see the checkout button. My credit card information is entered in, my address. I'm literally just going to count down from 5 and I'm going to press that button. And I think I did it on Instagram Live one time with some of you guys like watching me and cheering me on, like, nah, go for it. Like, do it. Why? We need more inventory. We want more products. We want more body butters. You need to upscale your business. And I count down from 5. I went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Checkout. Literally, like, there was no other way to do it. Sometimes you literally just have to take a deep breath and just do it. So basically what I'm saying is, use that fear to like motivate you. I was so afraid that I used that fear to help me check out, and it worked, because once I got that inventory, it was around Black Friday, and I used it all. Like, I sold out everything. So I was just, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it. Like, yes, this is what taking a risk look like. If you're not going to be open to taking risks in your entrepreneurship journey, then I'm gonna just be real with you. Maybe entrepreneurship may not be something for you, because you constantly are like pushing yourselves out of your comfort zone when you're starting a business. You are constantly having to try things new, get into areas that you're not necessarily comfortable in, do things that you would not have done had you not started a business, put yourself in spaces that you would not have just walked into willingly if you weren't looking to get some money. Comfortable with being uncomfortable. The only way to grow is to expand this little circle that we have. This is our comfort zone, okay? Say this is your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is very small, because normally you just operate within that comfort zone. You're not like willing to go step outside of it, because why would I step outside of this little comfortable bubble that I'm in? Like, I'm safe here. Nothing's gonna go wrong, okay? The second that you take that first step outside of that comfort zone and it gets bigger, now you've opened yourself up to a new comfort zone. You're open to doing different things, and you probably put yourself into positions that you can level up in life, just life period, not even just entrepreneurship. But since we are talking about business, you can level up in your business by dropping that $500-$600 on new inventory, because you need it to continue to produce more products more efficiently, change your packaging up, invest in a social media content plan, all things like that. So once you expand that comfort zone, you're actually going to end up rewarding yourself for the risk that you took. Had you not taken that risk, you could continue to be stagnant and not see any progress. Or if you do see progress, it will take a much longer time, because you are moving at a slower rate. You're not really doing anything that's going to jump you from here to here, is what I'm trying to say. It's also super important to realize that you're never just going to be an expert at anything. That's part of the reason why I always come on the channel. And if I'm talking about something that might come off like I'm super knowledgeable about it, or I'm trying to teach you guys something, I always want to specify, like, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert at this. This is just my experience. This is what I have learned through doing my own research and my actual own experiences. You have to realize that you're not always going to be an expert at everything. Honestly, surround yourself with people who are more experienced than you in certain areas. That's why I create the Boss Babe group chats, because I like for us to all kind of throw our ideas into one little unit, and there might be somebody who's done something before that you may have not done but already, or they have already learned how to effectively plan out their social media content. And there might also be somebody who's effectively learned how to budget their financial plan for their business. And there might also be somebody who's really good at taking product photos. If I can combine all those people into one space, I feel like the more we bounce ideas off of each other, the more knowledge we gain as a collective. And then swapping knowledge with other people is also a way that you're going to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because sure, you may not know something, but your girl over there just now figured that out and she's willing to share. So that's basically what I do on this channel. Is I do the uncomfortable stuff. I figure out the stuff that most people are too afraid to research, or are just not in the mindset where they feel comfortable enough to even go towards that type of information. So I go pull all the information, try all the experiences, try all the plans that I come up with. I might fail, and then I come here and I share with you guys, because what somebody else learned is someone else's tool or someone else's first step to getting more comfortable or taking that risk, or it's going to aid them in feeling more confident with making the decision to starting a business. Something else that goes along with that category of getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is like trusting your intuition. If the risk that you're about to take doesn't feel like it's right or it's not the right time for it, that's okay. Like, honor that and respect that, because you're probably going to save yourself from something that you intuitively know is not going to be the best decision for you. What I'm not getting on here and saying is, oh yeah, girl, you only got $500 in your savings account. Like, blow it all right now. Go buy all that inventory, start your business. Or, yeah, you know your car note is due this month, but no, blow that money from your car note and go and invest into a business and go drop all that money on a new stand mixer or something. I'm not, those are not risk. Evaluate the risk that you're taking and make sure that they are not high level risk, okay? Make sure it's very reasonable and it makes sense for your life, because there's a such thing as taking a risk that you just knew it just wasn't right, and you knew daggone well that you should not have been doing that. And don't set yourself up, but also be comfortable with making a risk that is, obviously it makes sense, and then it may not turn out the way that you expected it to. Though it may not have turned out the way that you anticipated it to, use that as a lesson. There's another thing with starting a business. Every failure is not a failure. There is no such thing as failure in a business. So even though I just now recently made a video saying like, did I fail my business? Or I did also just recently say, sometimes I feel like I fail you guys and I fail myself. Failure in entrepreneurship is not a thing. It's always a lesson, or there's always something that you can use from that failure, or from that failure to succeed in another way, or you can use that experience that you had to grow in a different way. It's a learning experience, so you have to be willing to take everything that you see, everything that happens, nitpick it. You have to dissect every single thing that you did, how it didn't go right or how it did go right, and then how can I improve upon doing this the next. One time I did a launch, right? I was relaunching for springtime, I think it was, and I was like doing this really big launch with all my new spring collection. I was super excited about it. I just realized this whole entire time, y'all probably can hear Sincere upstairs in the bath. One time I was doing this launch for my business, or for my spring collection, and I got all excited. I got on Instagram, I got all the people hype about it and everything, and right when I was about to say, okay, everybody, the website is open, there was an error. Like, Shopify didn't allow for my website to be open to the public at the time that I had it set open to the public. So, girl, it was a whole mess. Like, people was on the website, and I'm on Instagram Live, so people at the time were messaging me like, nah, I can't get in. Is the website open? So I'm on live trying to do my thing, also on my computer, trying to make sure that the background things are all working. It was just a stressful time. But did it fail, or did I not succeed? No. I still ended up having a very successful launch, and I still made almost my sales goal that day. The thing that came out of that for me was to triple check everything. You know, sure, you might feel like you made sure that all these things were set up perfectly, that your website was running perfectly, that the checkout page was looking efficient, but go back and check it again, and then go back and check it again, and then check it again after you checked it again. Like, that was a lesson for me. It wasn't a failure. It was just a mistake that I made, and then something that I was able to grow from it the next time. So use your failures as tools to grow. I know earlier in this video I said that fear is a low vibrational emotion, and yes, it is very low vibrational, because normally it's not something that when you're fearful of something, you're not looking for a positive reaction. You're always going to a negative emotion. When your fear itself is not necessarily a negative thing. If you shift your mindset, shift the way that your perspective is, you can actually see that fear is kind of a good thing in a way. I figured this out when I wrote down my fears and the things that I feared for next year in my book, or my journal. The stuff that I'm afraid of are things that I'm like dreaming super big on, or I have a really vast imagination. Vision, like my vision board that I see in my mind is always so beautiful. It's perfectly laid out. It's just very, very big. It's not a negative thing to dream big. So fear always happens when you're about to embark on something that's really big, or that's really going to be changing, that's going to be a life-changing experience. Entrepreneurship is a life-changing experience. Entrepreneurship is you stepping into doing something for yourself that's going to earn income on your own time. You're doing something that 9 times out of 10 you're going to be super passionate about it, and you're probably trying to work your way to building a financial freedom for your family, or you're trying to spend more time with your kids. That was my thing. It was the fact that not only do I have this goal of being free financially and free in my whole entire life, I also want to be able to work from home and stay at home and take care of my baby and homeschool at the same time. Fear is not necessarily a negative thing unless you sit in it and don't do anything with it. That's why I said use that fear to fuel your next move. Like, okay, I'm afraid of doing this or starting this business, but what am I supposed to do next? Like, I'm just sitting here with that, I'm afraid to do something, but is there a step that I'm supposed to take after? Like, what am I supposed to be doing next? I'm supposed to be doing something. So what is that something that you're supposed to be doing? Don't just sit in your fear and let your fear talk you out of doing things, or don't talk yourself out of doing something that could be completely life-changing for you. Another thing that you can do to step out of that fearful mindset is to embrace learning, you guys. There's so much information. There's so much knowledge to be gained by starting a business for yourself. The thing that I've noticed a lot of times when people are saying that I'm just scared to start that business, or I'm just scared to start that, is honestly just a lack of information, or you feeling not confident in starting because you don't feel like you know enough. You don't feel like you know how to do this, or I don't know how to market to my target audience. And then what is the target audience? And then how do I actually create a customer base? And then where do I start finding customers? And oh, I need a website, but how do I make a website and then run that website? There's just so many things that you may not know. And that is why I say embrace learning, because the second that you start doing your research and using information seeking as your fear motivator, or using that to push that fear to the side, I'm telling you right now, you will feel so much more confident that the fear almost, it just literally dissipates. You can't even get it to come up because you're like, oh, I'm afraid to start my business because what if actually, no, I've done my research. I know how to market to my audience. I know what a target audience is. I know how to build a website. I know how to get my logo. I know how to start an LLC. I know how to get, girl, you know everything that there is to know. That's why I say embrace learning, do your research, take your journal, take a book, take a piece of paper, and just write down every question that you have. Go on YouTube, do some research. There's tons of videos out there. Go to Google. I mean, sign up for a course with someone that you trust, and just do anything and everything that you possibly can to continuously learn. Every single day of your entrepreneurship journey is it's a way to learn. The amount of time that we spend scrolling on social media, if we invested those 2 hours instead of scrolling on Instagram, piece of paper and a pencil, and like wrote down things and took notes and studied, you would be much farther in life. You're wasting time at this point by not doing your research. You're holding yourself back by not going to the information or trying to find the sources of inspiration or whatever it is that you need to push that fear to the side. With that being said, embrace learning, do your research, ask questions, you guys. Don't be afraid to comment down below on any video if you have any question. It doesn't even matter what video it's on. If there's any question that you ever have about anything, just make sure you comment down below, and 9 times out of 10 I'm going to respond. I try to respond to all you guys' comments, but the point that I'm making is don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to look as if you don't know. We all are learning in some way, shape, or form. Don't be afraid to look like you don't know everything. Like I said, we're not an expert. We are students, okay? We are all a student. And the last thing that I want to say is set attainable and realistic goals, you guys. When you are thinking about how you want to operate your business and what you want your business, what is your why? Find your why and make sure that you're including that why in every single goal that you set. If your why is like what mine was, which was I want to be an entrepreneur, and I want to be a successful entrepreneur because I want to be a stay-at-home mom, and I want to be able to spend more time with my daughter at home. I want to homeschool her, so I have to be successful in this in some way. I have to put myself out there and try, you know what I mean? So make sure that you're setting your attainable goals. My goal was to be a successful entrepreneur so that I can stay at home with my kids, spend more time with her, and make sure that she's homeschooled. If your why is included in your goals, they will be reachable, and you will see the purpose and why you're even doing this. Sometimes we get a little bit lost just by scrolling and seeing other people do their thing. Some people are starting their business because they want to live a life of luxury. They want to be able to get that new Coach bag or get that new Teflon bag or buy that Tesla. If that's your why, use that. I'm tired of not having these new bags. I'm tired of not having the car that I want. I want to be living my dream life in luxury. So I will start this business and I will be successful in it. Set the goals that you have. Make sure that they're reasonable and attainable so that they're actually going to be something that you can see yourself achieving. And then don't compare yourself to other people. The other people's lives are not for you. This is not their goals. These are your goals. Ignore your inner perfectionist. This is something that all of us have to do. Shout out to my Virgos who are watching this, because I'm telling you right now, it is a struggle to not try to be a perfectionist at every single thing that we do. We kind of hold ourselves back, and that's what I was doing for a long time. Literally holding myself back because the details were, some of them just weren't fine-tuned, or, oh, this wasn't perfect, so I can't launch that yet, because it has to be, you're starting. There's a reason why you're starting a business, because you are starting. Like, just start. You'll get perfect when you get. And the last thing that I want to say, I know I said the last thing was the last thing, but no, really, this is the last thing. The last thing that I want to say is, when you're starting, you kind of got to throw away the idea that there is like a perfect work-life balance. Because when you're starting, you're going to be spending a lot of time researching, trying new things, talking to people, on social media, trying to promote your business. You're going to spend a lot of time trying to work out all of the little things that you are growing into as you're starting. You know what I mean? Like, there's just going to be so many areas to try new things, or, okay, I tried this yesterday and I posted 3 times a day, but that didn't work. So let me go and study a little bit and see what other content strategies I can find. Or, oh, okay, I shipped my first order out, but the customer didn't receive it. So how am I supposed to go about doing customer service? Like, in the beginning, just kind of like throw away the idea that there's going to be perfect work-life balance. That's something that's going to come as you learn, as you get more comfortable into this new routine. Because let's just be real, when people go to a 9-to-5 job, they are literally doing the same type of task every single day. They sit in their chair by this time, they have lunch by this time, they clock out by this time, they're at home by this time, they're in bed by this time. Like, as an entrepreneur, the clock is always running. You're always doing something. Even at the 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, you up doing something. Like, just get it out of your mind that you're going to be able to like completely balance your life with your new business, because at some point in it, you're going to be a little bit all over the place. And that's okay, because it's a new area of your life that you're getting into, and you have to get comfortable in it before everything is like perfect. So throw away the idea that everything is going to be perfect and just start, you guys. Like, there's a new year coming up. I just want to see everybody like push the fear out and just start. I just kind of want us to all raise our vibration. I want to see everybody embracing a new journey in any kind of way, and especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. I'm rooting for all the girls who are watching this video. And pause, if you are watching this video right now, make sure you go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, because every time that I do videos like this, I just really like to see if you guys found anything helpful. And let me know what it is that was stopping you from starting your business, or what your biggest fear was, or what you feel like was holding you back. Just comment below something that you feel like you're doing to hold yourself back, and then let's start a discussion. Because one thing about me, I love a good discussion. So I think I will go ahead and wrap this video up right here. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. If you did, like I said, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your post notification bells on, because as you guys can see, I'm trying to upload a video every single day. So thank y'all so much for watching. I love you guys. I will see you on my next video.